Supreme Master Qinghai International Association Relief News Update from Japan. Even 3 weeks after the massive 9.0 magnitude quake and tsunami devastated the nation's northeast, Japan's meteorological agency continues to advise people to remain on alert for powerful aftershocks and potential tsunami waves. On Friday, April 1st, as officials confirmed over 28,000 fatalities and missing persons, the nation's largest ever search operation was launched in a cooperative endeavor by the US military and Japan's Self-Defense Forces, or SDF, who are working to find more than 16,000 people who remain unaccounted for. Some 7,000 US military and 18,000 SDF personnel have embarked in more than 100 aircraft and 60 naval vessels to complete the 3-day mission. For survivors, there is still an emotional toll, with many who blame themselves for the loss of loved ones, and others distressed by their desperate situations. Psychotherapists are thus cautioning that increasing numbers of people are displaying signs of mental crisis. In hope-giving news, support for survivors has continued, with the nation's young 19-year-old golf champion Ryo Ishikawa recently vowing to give all of his 2011 tournament money to the disaster victims. Expressing her sorrowful prayers and love, Supreme Master Qinghai has donated $80,000 in aid, while requesting that our association members, including doctors and nurses, please go render assistance and to even print more copies of her book, The Dogs in My Life, to give them for comforting their hearts.
Saying that extra expenses would be reimbursed, she asked that they bring urgent necessities such as medicine to the victims, especially the vulnerable, elderly and young together. With contributions from our International Association members, the sum of donations amounts to more than $172,000. Immediately after the disaster, our association's relief teams from Japan and Formosa or Taiwan began relief operations in the worst hit areas and have been joined by members from South Korea.
On March 25th, they visited a senior citizens' home in Karakura, Kesunuma City of Miyagi Prefecture to convey Supreme Master Qinghai's love and offer them comfort. 70-year-old Ms. Ayako Murakami, who is responsible for the residents' care, expressed the need for rice, miso and vinegar. After preparing relief goods in Tokyo, the relief team returned to deliver the requested vegan supplies, along with other daily necessities, as well as 12 sets of Supreme Master Qinghai's #1 international bestseller, The Dogs in My Life. The elderly thanked Master profusely for her care and help.
Supreme Master Qinghai, どうもありがとうございました。本当に感謝いたしております。
そしてまたスプリームマスターチンハイが書かれましたこの写真の絵本をですね、お子様方も傷ついていらっしゃると思いますので、癒していることになればいいと思いましてお持ちしましたのでお渡しください。
はい、ありがとうございます。本当にいろいろとご心遣いしていただいて本当にありがとうございます。
In updates at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, although debris prevented workers from checking radiation levels at reactor number 4, radioactive substances were detected in groundwater near the turbine buildings of the other 5 reactors. This finding raised fears of a more widespread effect to drinking water.
Residents forced from the 20-kilometre exclusion zone around the plant are now facing even longer-term evacuation. On Friday, Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano said, "There's no doubt, judging from the situation, that the evacuation order cannot be lifted in a few days or a few months." Earlier on Wednesday, the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, advised further expansion of the evacuation zone, having detected radioactive iodine particles at twice the agency's evacuation level at Itate village, 40 kilometres away from the plant. However, based on its own assessment of expert advice and proposals, the Japanese government did not decide that any new evacuations were necessary. According to Japan's Nuclear and Industry Safety Agency, its measuring standards differ from those of the IAEA. Meanwhile, both the Japanese government and the IAEA are keeping a close watch on the situation, and the UN Atomic Agency reported on Friday that based on soil sample measurements at Itate village, the level of radiation was going down.
After 180 workers working one day in high radiation conditions had gone without devices that monitor exposure, it was discovered that only 320 of an original 5,000 monitors were left intact following the disaster. Low priority work may thus be postponed to ensure that all on-site personnel have such devices. Meanwhile, a mother of one of the so-called Fukushima 50, which is the group of around 300 total technicians, soldiers and firemen working to restore the plant's stability in rotating shifts of 50, made it clear that these workers are aware of the risk they encounter. As she stated, "My son and his colleagues have discussed it at length, and they have committed themselves to die if necessary in the long term."
Supreme Master Qinghai shared the following message about the workers at Fukushima nuclear plant. "I am touched to tears by the sacrifice that these heroes are determined to offer for the citizens. This noble spirit of ancient Japan is still alive. I salute all these heroes and involved persons in this monumental task, with all my love and prayers for your protection and blessing."
Our sincere appreciation, all Japanese and international help working to ease the situation in Japan. We also thank Supreme Master Qinghai for her wholehearted assistance to the afflicted, as well as our association members for their dedicated efforts. We pray for the protection of the Japanese people and the world's increased benevolence toward all beings to stabilize our ecosphere.
Supreme Master Qinghai wants to convey this message of gratitude to all governments, organizations and relief workers from every corner of the world. Thank you, all the international and national help that brings care and necessities to afflicted victims. Thank you, all the relief workers, for taking time and forsaking your own comfort, even traveling great distance on unfavorable roads and conditions to bring love and assistance to people in time of need. May heaven bless you abundantly for your generosity and noble sacrifice.